Hi everyone. I wanted to talk today a little about goals and New Year's resolutions. I went to the gym with my husband a couple days ago, and he called me and said, "Holy cow, this parking lot is packed. I don't know if you're going to find a parking spot when you get here." So we got there. I got there, and we went in, and we could hardly find treadmills because there were so many people that were in there. And he was like, "Wow, I can't believe how many people are in here." Now, me, someone who's been going to gyms for a really long time, and him, someone who really hasn't been in a gym in a really long time, he didn't understand. I said, "Well, it's the second week of January, and it's all the New Year's resolution people that are here that sign up at the beginning of the year because, they decide this is the year I'm going to, get fit, I'm going to make changes, I'm going to do all these great things." And I was like, in 2 weeks, half these people won't even be here. And so I started to think, why is it that most of these people who are in the gym won't be back in 2 weeks? It's because while they have the desire to make a change, the desire to stay the same is far stronger than the desire to change. And now I want to talk to you a little bit about how mindfulness can help with this. One of the things that I see, and I see quite a bit, is that people, they take on too much at once. They bite off far more than they can chew, and they don't really understand that doing something major like changing your diet or starting a workout routine is something that requires a lot of effort. It requires a lot of mental effort, and it's so much easier to talk yourself out of doing something than it is to talk yourself into doing something, particularly something as stressful as changing your diet or exercising. Those are the two major ones for the beginning of the year. And a lot of times people have a tendency to say, "I'm going to stop drinking pop. I'm going to stop eating sugar. I'm going to, change whatever I'm eating. I'm going to go low carb. I'm going to do all these things. And I'm going to start working out." And eventually it's just too overwhelming because there's too much going on and you can't quite figure out how to balance it all because you have a normal routine that you do every day. Like you wake up, you do the same thing every day, you have the same breakfast, you drive the same way to work, you have the same work schedule, most people do anyway. You leave at the same time, you go home, you do the same things, rote rehearsal, wash, rinse, repeat is what I call it. And so now you're throwing in something completely different. Your body still wants to do the autopilot, and you're trying to make these changes, and it's so hard to actually override the autopilot. So using mindfulness is a really great way to be able to make the changes and actually stick with the changes. I was actually talking to my coach today about I'm trying to stop sugar. For a long time, I didn't really eat sugar because it's really not good for you. But I get into these cycles where I'm just craving sugar all the time, and sugar is addictive. So once I start eating it, I crave it all the time. So it's funny because when I'm working with my clients, I tell them to use something as a trigger. So when they get these cravings, do something to take their mind off of the cravings. And one of the things that I always recommend is to use a rubber band around your wrist. So whenever you get a craving for sugar, or you want to pop, or you want to go, and smoke a cigarette, or whatever it is that you're trying to stop, when the craving hits and you actually get the urge and you're actually getting up or opening the drawer or whatever it is that you're doing to go and get whatever it is you're trying to stop, take the rubber band and snap it on your wrist. And that'll kind of bring you back to reality. And then you can think to yourself, do I really want that? No, that isn't really what I want. I really want to try and make a change. but again, change is hard, particularly for some habits that are highly addictive, like smoking, drinking, sugar addiction. I've overcome alcohol addiction, I've overcome smoking addiction, and it was extremely difficult for both of those. But I made a conscious effort every single day. And they tell you in Alcoholics Anonymous, it's just today. What can I do just for today? You don't think about tomorrow or what you're going to do for the next day, just for today. What can I do just for today to keep myself from making these poor choices? And then getting yourself to do something like exercising. Don't get yourself into this crazy routine where you're going to go to the gym and you're going to be, I don't know, doing some Arnold Schwarzenegger workout where you're going to be doing all these crazy exercises. Number one, that you don't know how to do. Number two, that you might hurt yourself doing. And number three, that are really just going to wear you out. Start small. Just start by walking every day. Go outside and take a 20-minute walk. Take your kids for a walk. Take your dog for a walk. If you don't have a dog, ask a neighbor. I can't tell you anybody that has a dog that'll tell you no if you say, can I walk your dog? They'll all be like, please take the dog for a walk. Get them outside for some exercise. That's, you get exercise, the dog gets exercise. Yeah, I mean, you might have to pick up poop, whatever, but, you're actually getting out and you're doing something. If you're making a dietary change, don't just be like, I'm going to go all keto and then trying to figure out what the hell keto is and how you're going to fit it into your routine and how you're going to talk your family into it, because it's really difficult to make a change for yourself if the remainder of your family isn't on board. I can tell you when I went vegan 17 years ago, when nobody knew what the hell a vegan was, nobody was on board with that, but that was definitely something that we all had to work into. So, figure out a way that you can make small steps instead of saying, I'm going to, change my entire diet and go keto or go vegan or be vegetarian or whatever. To make it a lot more palatable to yourself, just say, you know what, maybe I'll just switch my breakfasts. Maybe I'll just switch my snacks. Maybe I'll just, stop eating out for lunch. Whatever it is, just do one small thing, and do that one small thing consistently for at least a month. A lot of people say 21 days. I tell people you got to do it for 30, 35 days in order for it to be a habit. So you end up going from what I call unconscious incompetence, where you're doing something on a regular basis as a habit on autopilot, to unconscious competence. So you're going from something that you do that you don't even recognize that you do, like when you drive from A to B and you get to B and you don't remember how you got to B, and you think to yourself, oh my God, did I run a red light? Did I hit somebody? Did I drive the speed limit? Well, of course you did, because your body knows where you're going and how you're getting there, and it just automatically does it. It's paying attention, and you're just off in la la land, not paying attention to whatever. And then you start moving from unconscious incompetence to conscious incompetence, where you recognize that you're having these cravings and you're reaching for the pop. And then when you go to reach for the pop, or you go outside to have the cigarette, you say, oh, wait a minute, this is something I'm trying to change. And then you either continue with that, or you actually stop and you do something different. And then you move to conscious competence, where you recognize you have the craving, pop, alcohol, whatever, and then you say, okay, this is something that I'm not going to do anymore. I'm no longer going to be drinking pop. I'm no longer going to be doing whatever. And then you make the change to do something better. And then you move from there to unconscious competence, where you no longer have to think about the better behavior. It just automatically becomes routine. It's an automatic habit. When I went vegan, I had to read the labels for everything because I didn't know a lot about veganism. Nobody knew a lot about veganism. When I tell people I was a vegan, they look at me like I was a three-eyed monster, because it wasn't popular. And this is almost 20 years ago. Now everybody knows what a vegan is, and you tell people they're vegan, like, oh, you're one of those people. Oh. I'm not really one of those people. I was when I first went vegan. I try not to be one of those people, but I know a lot of people that are those kinds of vegans. So I totally get that. But, just being conscious and recognizing that you have a craving for whatever it is, or you have an urge for whatever, or you're driving home from work and your plan is to stop at the gym and your brain's like, just go home, just go home. Saying to yourself, no, I have made a commitment to myself to do something better, to be better, to make an investment in my health. I'm going to go, and I'm going to go in and I'm going to walk on the treadmill, ride the stationary bike, do the circuit room, Planet Fitness circuit room, awesome, 30-minute workout, full body, 30 minutes, you're out, done. Totally worth it. $10 a month, best investment you can make. And there's never anybody in there, which is really awesome. You might get somebody that comes in every once in a while to use one of the machines because whatever machine is out on the floor is being used and they really want to use it, but they don't stay in for very long. But anyway, setting whatever goal, not picking too many of them, and just doing the small steps. And here's another thing about goal setting. It has to be specific. So instead of saying, I want to be healthy. Okay, well, that's an admirable goal, but what is your definition of healthy? Maybe your definition of healthy is not smoking anymore. Maybe your definition of healthy is, not drinking anymore. Maybe your definition of healthy is not eating excess sugar. Maybe it's losing 10 pounds. But if you just say, my goal is to get healthy, that's not very specific. Now, specific is, I want to lose 10 pounds. Okay, that's specific. So then it has to be measurable. Okay, I want to lose 10 pounds. What is a measurable time frame for that goal, that specific goal? So, okay, I want to lose 10 pounds, and I want to lose 10 pounds in 2 weeks. Okay. Attainable. Is that goal attainable? 10 pounds in 2 weeks, depending on who you are, maybe it's attainable. For most people, it's really not. Realistic. Again, 10 pounds in 2 weeks is not a realistic goal. It's not something that you really can do unless you're starving yourself or you're fasting for 2 weeks. But even then, that's not healthy. And then time bound. Again, setting a time. Okay, well, I want to lose 10 pounds. And this is my goal. One of my personal goals for this year is to lose 10 pounds, but I'm going to do it it's probably going to take me about 3 months. The weight didn't go on overnight, so it's not going to come off overnight. So you have to be realistic about what you can actually accomplish. We have a tendency to overestimate what we can do in a year and underestimate what we can do in 5 years. So working with a realistic goal that is specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and time-bound will really help you to be able to stick to whatever goals that you have. Another really good thing you can do is have goal planners. I have 2 goal planners. You're probably going to think I'm crazy. I actually have 3 planners. I have, this is my business planner. So it's a 90-day goal planner, and I go through and I pick 90 days, like goals that I want to achieve in 90 days, or a goal I want to achieve in 90 days. And it's usually only one. And then I put a time frame. Okay, so in 90 days, I'm going to have this goal accomplished, or I want to have this goal accomplished. 9 times out of 10, I don't. And then, you work backwards from that timeline and you think, okay, in the first 30 days, what do I need to accomplish to get towards that goal? And in the second 30 days, what else do I need to accomplish to get me to that goal? And then in the third 30 days, what do I need? What resources, what people do I need to contact? What do I need to do in order to accomplish that goal? So it's an easier way to be able to break down a goal into specific measurable chunks. And then I have my other goal planner. This is the Cultivate What Matters Power Sheets Planner. And this one has, you go in and they have all these different exercises that you do for you to figure out what, and this is more like a life goals kind of thing. You can use it as business goals. But, you can put in there things that you really want to accomplish, and it really helps you to think on how you can accomplish the goals that you really want to achieve. If you don't write it down, it doesn't exist. So, if you want to really accomplish a goal, write it down. Write it down somewhere. And then I have my daily planner. So I translate all of those things into my daily planner. So this is my daily planner. You can't see the thing, but this is last year's Passion Planner. Passion Planner, you can go on their website and you can download their planners for free as PDFs. They're really awesome. This year they came out with a daily. I'm so happy about this because I like having the daily, because then I can go in and I can write all of the things that I need to do on a daily basis, and then they give you like space to write. So I have a coach, a habit change coach, and she and I had a call today. And so she had me work through some exercises, and so here's like all my little notes about the exercises, and then this is my list of things to do. I put them on sticky notes because if I don't get it done, I can just move it to the next day instead of having to read because I'm lazy. I'll tell you, I'll be the first person to tell you I'm lazy. I don't like to do things multiple times, so I'll just move that sticky note from one page to another. And, as I'm getting things done, I cross them off. But that way I know what I'm working towards. And then I have, in my thing, I have, this is something that I've really been working on, a daily intention. So when I get up today, before I go to bed, what is one thing that I really want to get accomplished today, so that I have one thing that I'm focusing on? And my intention for today was to try Facebook Live. So here I am doing my Facebook Live, yay. So I actually crossed that goal off my list. So, doing things like this can really help you to stay on the track for success, not to get too overwhelmed and not to be, too frustrated, because, so many people get frustrated because like, I really wanted to do all this stuff and I just can't figure out how to get it all done, and then they just give up. And it's so sad because you started out with the best of intentions, right? You wanted to get healthy, you wanted to quit smoking, you wanted to stop drinking pop or quit the sugar or whatever. But again, you bite off way more than you can chew. And it's really difficult for your brain to process all the different changes. So we have in our brains neural pathways. And when you're creating a new habit, so it's like people say, it's like riding a bike. Hopefully you know how to ride a bike. But if you haven't ridden a bike in forever, you can get on a bike and remember how to ride it. So when you're creating these habits, you're creating these neural pathways, this muscle memory, so that, being consciously aware of what you're doing and, making a conscious choice to make these different changes to, stop drinking pop, to stop going outside for a cigarette, to stop even buying cigarettes. I don't even know why people buy them. They're ridiculously expensive. I can't believe it. And you're just paying to kill yourself. It's stupid. Anyway, so it takes a little while for these neural pathways to actually be created in your head. And for you to be able to have this be a complete habit that you don't even pay attention to anymore. So it's just something that's automatic. So if you work on setting a goal, making it specific, creating a timeline, writing it down, and then just working at it a little bit every single day, small steps make big changes. So that is how you can use mindfulness, and then using your rubber band every time you you get the urge or the craving, or you don't want to do what you say you're going to do. That's a really good way to be able to use mindfulness as a way to be able to stick to your goals. And I say you should say goals, not resolutions, because a resolution isn't something that anybody can really stick to. And personally, I actually create what I call a mastery list. So this year, on my mastery list, I'm going to master health. I know that sounds kind of crazy and very not specific. But then within that mastering health, I have my specific sub goals, I guess you can say. So, picking one thing, small thing, and just working on it a little bit at a time, every single day, consistently, until you no longer have to think about doing it. You just automatically doing it, and then starting a new thing. Walking for 5 minutes a day. At work, get up, do small exercises, 5 minutes a day, every single day. Set a timer. There's all kinds of timers that you can set. Go and buy some, like hand weights at the store. Resistance bands are great for your office. There's all kinds of websites where you can find chair exercises that you can do. So you can, do these little things and make it a habit, and then work on the new habit. So anyway, that's all I have to say today about goal setting and sticking to your goals. And hopefully I am going to be doing these Facebook Lives regularly to discuss different relevant topics. So if you have anything that you think you'd like to talk about, or you'd like for me to talk about, please feel free to leave a comment and let me know. And I will talk to you soon.